and predictions were that they were going to come out trumps here, but as it stands at the moment, 42.23% with the African National Congress, 37.75% of the vote going to the Democratic Alliance, and 6.67% going to the EFF. As we bring in Lerato Fekisi. Lerato, what is the latest in Gqeberha?
A very good afternoon, morning to Gqeberha. I think you hit it on the nail that the metro is a highly contested metro. And the reason why we found ourselves in a coalition now was that in 2016, not only the DA from the ANC, but what was key to them clinching the power was the issue of voter turnout. In 2016, we had about 64% of people going out to vote. We've seen a drop this year, just over 50% of people going, less than 50% going to vote. And also the issue has been a topical issue here, the issue of the youth vote, not going out in the numbers like we saw yesterday, and also the issue of people just really not being concerned about politics in the metro and not going out to vote. But let's talk now to Jolene Steyn-Kotze, our analyst, to talk us more about the youth voter turnout. Let's talk just first about an issue that was quite a thorny issue, is the issue of registration. People registered, when they get to the polls, they said they're not allowed to vote. And how does this affect the credibility of the IEC?
You know, that type of issue can really affect the credibility of the IEC, most notably in giving the people the right to vote, their right to franchise. If your voter registration system is dysfunctional, then ultimately you cannot guarantee the basic constitutional right for people to vote. And it is really a glitch that the IEC is going to need to look at to maintain confidence in the 2024 elections coming up, as well as their international reputation.
Jenny, we were not talking earlier on, we spoke about the drop in the turnout. In particular of concern is the issue of the youth vote. Now, when we were talking, you said that you feel there's too much pressure pressed on young people to go and vote, that perhaps the empathy flag is overused, because perhaps the reason why they're not voting is because nothing about what political parties are saying is speaking into the key issues that are facing young people, beyond just the euphoria of saying that we'll put young candidates, we'll put young people as a face of. Beyond that, young people are looking for something beyond just saying we'll put a young candidate in as a male candidate.
No, definitely. You know, I do think it's the question of representativity and representation, but I think more broadly speaking as well, political parties are not having the conversations they need to with youth. So we know that when we vote a council in, it is for a 5-year period. But what happens after that 5-year period, the youth are going to inherit is going to be at that 10-20-year mark. Are we having conversations around climate change, job scarcity, the possibility of more pandemics that could negatively impact on the future of the youth? And we also have to bear in mind the environment in which the youth finds themselves. Job scarcity, it's very difficult to meet those key markers. Finding a job, moving, starting a family, and standing on your own 2 feet.
Also, what is interesting from the stats coming in from your side is the issue that the number of people that come out to vote, the highest number are actually women, not men. Why do you think that is so, especially in the NMB?
You know, I think it's when we look at the current voter registration numbers, there was a larger percentage of women that had gone out to register to vote. Of course, we'll be able to only see if they voted in larger number than men's once the votes are tallied. I think a key reason for that goes around municipal satisfaction with service delivery. You know, women needing access to healthcare. There may be a dysfunctional clinic. The clinic may be dysfunctional, but is better than having no clinic at all or no access to healthcare at all.
Well, there was Jolene Steyn-Kotze just speaking to us about the issue facing the NMB, and just saying two things that she was touching on, speaking that the reason why perhaps the youth voter turnout is lesser than it was in 2016 is that the young people, when they look at all the propaganda put forward by the political parties, nothing about what's put forward by them speaks to the issues young people are facing in terms of job scarcity, in terms of climate change, in terms of speaking, where do I see myself as a young person 20 years from now? Does this party speak to that? Also just saying that what she saw research that this year we saw that a high number of people that came to vote are actually women and not men. But we'll be crisscrossing around the Eastern Cape and the metro, bringing you the numbers as they come, and we're yet to see that will this metro go back to a coalition or will we get an outright majority. For now, let's go back to in studio.
Of course, we'll continue watching out. One of the most important metros in the country.